Alrighty. All right, so without further ado, Kyle, why don't you start by introducing yourself, and then I will do an around the horn.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thanks for inviting me, Dave. Nice to virtually meet all you guys here. My name is Kyle McGough. I work for the National Fitness Campaign, and my role as a partnership development manager really is to help plan, fund, and support the mission of the campaign and building healthy communities, specifically in the education side of the campaign. So really partnering with high schools and higher ed partners across the state of New York to bring those outdoor fitness opportunities to the district by way of the fitness court. So I'll get into a little bit more later, but we'll swing it around the horn for now.
All right, and we've already met, so I'll skip to the person on my right, which is Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica Doolittle. I teach first grade over at Bout Hills. I'm also a Breathe for Change certified trainer and yoga instructor.
Lisa Ostrowski.
Hi, I'm Lisa Ostrowski. I'm the food service director here at North Colonie, and we do the district and as well as 7 other elementary schools. And I'm here with our dietitian and assistant director.
Hi, I'm Alex. She said what I did, so.
How about Jenna?
Hi, everybody. Jenna Bongermino, Director of Human Resources. We have about 1,600 employees, including subs. So we have a full plate of folks.
Thanks. Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle DeChavo. I am a parent of a junior at the high school, and I am also on the Board of Education.
Thank you. James.
Hi, James Hossley, middle school phys ed teacher, girls varsity volleyball head coach, also certified health teacher.
Thanks. Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I'm a school nurse in the district. I am currently at St. Gregory's, a small private school, but I do travel around the district too. And then I'm also a parent. I have a junior, a freshman, 8th grader, and a 6th grader.
All right, Taylor.
Or you can just cross them.
Hi, I'm Taylor, phys ed teacher at Forts Ferry Elementary School, and I'm also the coach for girls modified softball and varsity assistant for field hockey.
Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. Sorry, I have my screen off. I have kids coming in and out still. I'm the nurse at Southgate Elementary School.
Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina Crispo. I work in HR. That's all I got.
Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica McGowan. I'm a family and consumer sciences teacher at Shaker High School.
And I'm not sure who it is, but there's a phone call person. All right, we'll come back to them if they are able. All right, Kyle. So we have a pretty broad cross-section of our school community here in North Colonie. And as I said, the great thing about technology is we then share this out with, everybody on our committee, as well as we post it to our district website. So we get a lot of eyes on it. So this is, I think, a great opportunity to kind of expand upon the audience that, originally for the interest of everybody, Kyle presented to myself and Sam Halpern and Ryan DeGear, who are 2 high school phys ed health teachers. And so, we're trying to get him a broader audience. And so, we'll have him take it from there. And then we can, if you have questions, I would say maybe jot them down or make a mental note. And then when he's done, we can have an opportunity to ask those questions. All right, Kyle, it's all yours.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys. And thanks, Dave, again for the introduction. So I appreciate you guys all taking some time to connect this afternoon and letting me join you all. So as Dave mentioned, I connected with him, Sam, and Ryan a couple weeks ago, really to have an initial conversation surrounding the campaign, share kind of our mission and what we're all about. And it did sound like there was at least some initial alignment. So Dave invited me to connect and share the campaign with you all. So really the goal for the call today is just to share the information, let you guys discuss, have some conversations internally. But really for us, it's about trying to find alignment, trying to figure out if there is some alignment within the district, which it does sound like initially, but I'll kind of go ahead and tee it off here. And I promise to keep it moving right along. I know you guys have some other stuff to get to, but we will save a couple minutes at the end for questions. So before I start and kind of dive on into it, I trust that most of you guys were able to check out the video that Dave sent around yesterday afternoon to get a little high-level overview of the campaign. But if not, I'll kind of give you a quick little tee up here. So we currently partner with about 500 cities and schools spread throughout the country. At this point, the campaign's in about 45 states so far, and about roughly 50 or so of the partners are in the school or academic setting. So historically, the majority of our partners have been with city, town, parks, things like that, that you guys probably saw in the video. But we're really growing out our college and high school campaign pretty quickly right now. So we're really looking for a handful of partners this year in the high school side that want to be a part of the campaign, this grant cycle. And really the mission behind the campaign and the partnerships we build is to support providing access to outdoor fitness movement opportunities, really all throughout the country, communities of all shapes and sizes. And for us, it's about figuring out, if we can provide the access, we know that it does have a lot of positive impact on both mental and physical health, that I know you guys also share kind of the passion as well. So very much a mission-driven campaign where we have partners we work with that really want to support the community. Really the plan long-term, you guys probably saw in the video too, is we want to build this out. We plan to have over 10,000 fitness courts installed in the next 10 years. So we got our work cut out for us. But one thing we always mention too, this is an invite-only grant-based program. So MVP Healthcare is the New York State sponsor. They provide grant funding to support the campaign. And there is some local funding needed to finalize the campaign and become partners. But again, the goal for the call today is just share the information with you all. And then following the call today, I'll continue conversations with Dave and we'll continue exploring the conversation to see if it makes sense and it's feasible to bring it to the district and Shaker High School. So with that, I'll go ahead and switch my screen over and then we'll dive on into it here and we will get rolling right along. And just so you guys can confirm, you see a blue mascot on the screen doing a lunge. Is that right?
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome.
Not
I'm
quite
used
a
to
blue bison, but it'll do.
That's one of our partners out in California, UC Davis. So cool. We'll go ahead and dive on into it here. So the National Fitness Campaign is a wellness consulting firm, and it's actually evolved into America's largest public-private wellness partnership, celebrating over 500 healthy communities and funded to welcome 1,000 communities by 2025. So really growing at a fast pace, again, pushing hard for our mission to build healthy communities. New York actually is one of our most active states. We have over 30 fitness courts across the state, with 6 of them in the education side specifically, including our very first high school partner as part of the pilot program last year, Mohonasen Central School District, not too far from you guys. So believe it or not, you guys actually are in a great area as far as fitness courts. We actually have 4 fitness courts in the Latham, Troy area, 3 in Schenectady, and then a couple in Albany as well. So really surrounding the community and the parks and whatnot around you guys. And when it comes to the mission, why are we doing this? What's this all about? We know that students today really struggle with higher levels of stress, anxiety, depression, loneliness, a lot of time on their phones, indoors. So for us, I'm sure you guys know as well as anyone, when we can get students outside, moving their bodies in the social setting around that built environment, it does have a direct positive impact, both personally and academically. So the campaign provides the tools, infrastructure, and programs for school leaders to make a positive health impact for their community. And specifically, I mentioned earlier, MVP Healthcare is the New York State sponsor who also share the mission of building healthy communities. So on behalf of the National Fitness Campaign and New York State sponsor MVP Healthcare, we're pleased to be here today to introduce you all to the campaign. And when we think about the campaign kind of as a community wellness consulting firm, the campaign builds strategic plans that assist organizations with planning, funding, and building a network of free outdoor fitness courts for communities and schools alike, really connecting everyone to those wellness opportunities, both in large and small communities. And when we get to the campaign and really kind of what it's all about, really kind of functioning as a comprehensive community wellness program centered around the free outdoor fitness court that you see here, kind of in the center of the slide. So beyond the actual fitness court, you'll see are kind of the consulting services surrounding that really help us promote the plan, fund, and activate the campaign for really long-term impact for our partners. So the campaign services include everything from ambassador training programs, health and PE instructors, kind of leading the charge, teaching classes with curriculum for PE and academic courses. So really supporting our partners however we can. And the nice thing too is that once we have a campaign partner interested, we do everything we can to support them, kind of wrapping our arms around them to make sure we're driving impact locally via the fitness court and all the services the campaign provides. And then moving on to the actual fitness court and what you guys saw quite a good bit of in the video, in what we call the world's best outdoor gym. This picture shows the space and the layout. So it's a 38-foot by 38-foot, 7-station, all bodyweight exercise fitness court. So it comes out to about the size of half of a tennis court within the playing lines for kind of a mental reference as far as the size. It does have rubberized outdoor flooring and stainless steel bolted equipment. So it is built to live outside in all climates for students and community members ages 14 and up. So we do typically see this on kind of the high school side of the campus. So for us, it is a fully ADA accessible as well. We want this to be inclusive for anybody that wants to use it. And they're actually built to live 25 plus years outdoors. The nice thing is there's no moving parts, so very minimal maintenance is ever required. We typically just recommend a nice power wash at the end of the winter season and just checking the nuts and bolts a couple times a year, just like you would with anything. So really, they're kind of built to last outdoors, and they were engineered that way on purpose. There is also a free mobile app as well. So there's training tutorials, beginner, advanced, and intermediate movements kind of all along the way. And this actual fitness court here is from one of our earlier partners in Michigan at Oakland University. So they're actually looking to expand the size due to the success they've seen coming into their 6th year as a partner. And that's where we got creative and added new for this year, the fitness court studio. So really kind of based around an extended footprint, functioning as a kind of a wellness hub for both our partners and the community as well. So the active space basically doubles the footprint of the fitness court. So as far as space here, now we're talking about the size of a full tennis court for reference. So they're rapidly growing across the education side. When you kind of unite the power of, dance, yoga, fitness, looks like they're doing some kind of a Zumba here on the picture here. It really does have a direct impact. So for us, it's about trying to figure out different use cases we can use for the fitness court studio, whether it be used for an outdoor classroom when the weather's nice, HR programming for faculty and staff when they can get a brain break during the day, or even like a Saturday morning free fitness class for community residents. So tons of ways to activate the space, and we really want to make sure it's a success all across, both for the community and for the school. And when it comes to the look and feel aesthetically, there's a lot of ways to make the fitness court a one-of-a-kind piece of art. Most of our education partners opt in for the school theme with the logos and colors, but a lot of options, like even having a local artist put together a design or a featured artist mural if you choose. And really, when it comes to getting qualified for the grant, there are 4 main steps to get invited to apply. And then once Dave and I connect with district leadership to identify these steps, then I go back to the grant committee and petition them to release an application, since this is an invite-only initiative. So the first thing the grant committee will look at is leadership support, making sure there's alignment from decision makers on the district and a consensus within the district that health and well-being is a priority for you all. And then once we have that leadership support, next we typically identify a couple sites where the fitness court can live on the high school campus that makes sense. So the grant committee typically wants to make sure that the sites are active, visible, and connected to school infrastructure. So that's definitely a big part of it too. And then once a few sites are selected, then we start to put together the funding pieces. And depending on the size of the grant we receive, we start to put together a plan for funding, installation, build out, planning, all that as part of the services the campaign provides. And then as far as the timeline to qualify for the grant, I mentioned earlier in our first call that we are in the early application window. That's good until April 15th in aligning our partners. If there are grants available after that, we do certainly look to get them awarded kind of on a rolling basis. But if the district did decide to move forward with an application and are awarded a grant, you're supported all the way throughout the non-binding adoption, certainly the planning, construction, and of course the launch with kind of the help of the campaign services with one of the project managers as well. So those are kind of the key highlights of the campaign. But again, in short, the campaign is looking for partners that align with the 5 core areas of impact. For us, we want partners that want to be a part of the campaign nationwide. Again, trying to drive those health benefits locally by providing the infrastructure, getting the community involved. And because again, you guys know more than ever, get students moving outdoors, really create healthy habits for students, it does have a positive impact. So that's really what we're doing here as far as big picture. But if there's any questions, I'm happy to take a few. I know you guys have some other stuff to get to today, but happy to take a couple questions if there's any questions at this point.
I have one, please. It sounds amazing. Actually, I have two questions. Can there be more than one site is number one. And number two is, what about the liability? Like somebody gets hurt, who's responsible?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as the sites, so typically there can be more than one site. So it's certainly up to you guys. Typically for most of our high school partners, there's one site, but if there's multiple sites that make sense for you guys, that's certainly something we're happy to explore. Again, these do go on typically high school campuses in the education campaign, ages 14 and up, just from a liability safety standpoint as well. And as far as liability, this does meet ASTM safety standards for outdoor fitness equipment. So of our 500 plus partnerships, we're happy to report there's been no claims of negligence, of injury, things like that. For us, we did engineer this specifically to live outdoors and to be safe. So we're happy to report there's been no claims, but it does meet ASTM outdoor safety standards for outdoor fitness.
And Kyle, didn't you say it's on the same category as the playgrounds? Is that what that ATSM means?
Yeah, so there's ASTM, there's a couple different standards. So ASTM standards for outdoor fitness, it's the same kind of thing as if you had a baseball field, a tennis court. It's the exact same insurance that most of our partners carry. So while I can't address any specific insurance claims or things like that, it does typically fall into that same category. So we don't see any changes for the vast majority of our partners as far as insurance, liability, things like that.
So Dave, I was just thinking, as I'm looking out my window, we have this huge field outside of Goodrich. So I'd be a player to have it here, but I understand we probably need one on a campus as well. But I think you could get community stuff here. But
yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities. Kyle, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have that usage map that you shared with Sam and I and Ryan?
For the state partners?
No, it was it was the Strava. You had done a little research about.
I don't have it pulled up, but I can pull it up real quick if you like.
So what I was asking for the benefit of everyone else was, Strava is a activity app, and what they smartly did was they were able to use it to come up with a activity map, more or less. So it's think of a heat map that shows where people walk the most, where they exercise the most, things like that. So through that, they were able to identify, obviously, like the track was a hot spot. You could see anybody that's used Strava while on the track is going to show up. And then it shows the surrounding areas in Latham. And so when combining that with GPS, he was able to come up with some of the higher trafficked areas. And, we obviously, have given a little thought to this in the couple of weeks since we've met about what would some possible locations be. But, to your question, Jenna, that anything's possible.
Can you guys see the Strava map at this point?
Yes.
Perfect. So as we take a look here, you can filter by, different activities, riding, walking, running, things like that. But if we were to just pull up the walking activity, for example, as you kind of zoom in on this aerial map here, obviously the track is typically where we see a lot of our partners building out their fitness court. It makes sense. It's an active space, connected and visible. So it certainly does meet the criteria. Another popular site we typically see as well falls upon typically, next to a gym, fitness center, things like that. So certainly some options when we were, looking originally, Dave, to find a right qualifying site that makes sense for you all. And we have a landscape architect team that we get looped in as well. So they kind of go through all the steps too to make sure it's going to be a success. Because, from doing over 500 of these, we know if you place the fitness court in the right spot, it's going to work out very well. It's going to be highly used, highly trafficked, visible. So a lot of the criteria that we kind of make sure we have locked in.
Dave, where were you thinking?
Well, speaking to the
Preliminarily,
HR,
if it
I'm
happened.
thinking outside of her window, but another possible location would be, and this is not self-serving, but there's an empty patch of ground that directly outside, like between the H gym and the F gym. There's a grassy
Yep.
area there, and it's kind of wasted space at this time, and it has a close proximity to, you know, the whole athletics and physical education part of the high school. So that would be something that, you know, would be worth taking a look at.
Great, great.
And I do love that, like the slide that showed like looked like community members using it for whether it was dance or yoga or what have you. You know, that's definitely something that, you know, we're interested in, you know, in addition to health, physical education, employee wellness, you know, community usage is part of what we do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Good.
How much does
Any
one of
other-
these
go
actually
ahead.
like cost?
Yeah, so it kind of varies depending on the grants. This thing is like that. So big picture for the fitness court, it's roughly a $200,000 project all in. Now the grants vary as far as sizing, and we're able to pull funding different ways, and that's kind of part of the conversation Dave and I have as we kind of move this forward if there is alignment. But for us, it's trying to figure out a perfect timeline that makes sense for you guys. You know, we know obviously every district, every state is different as far as the approval process. So for us, it's about trying to figure out that step one consensus with leadership support. So we really kind of start in the early conversations to see when it makes sense to take a dive into this and how we can ultimately, you know, how and when we can bring it together, not if. That's kind of one of our things to figure out how we can figure out a partnership at some point down the road. So very early on in the conversations, but excited to at least be here and present it to you guys.
Great. I think it's a great
Kyle,
idea.
do you remember off the top of your head, like approximate location that Mahanis is doing theirs? Like
So
in
I'd have to
relation
double check. I believe theirs is close to the track, but I'd have to double check. I didn't work on that project specifically, but I'm happy to take a look and let you know kind of what I see back.
I was just curious.
Yeah. Well,
Any
I know
other
you guys have.
questions from the group?
Yeah.
I had
Alicia.
one. It looks like there might be like a QR code. So for people to understand how to use the equipment, would that be available easily?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So there is a QR code on the back of that fitness wall, kind of where you see on the anchor on the back there. So there is a QR code. So that way folks can scan the QR code, download the app, and then they'll see all the movements, you know, hundreds of movements available. And the nice thing too is that they're all body weight exercise. So even if you're brand new to fitness, you've never touched a dumbbell a day in your life, we promise there's movements for everybody, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So it's like having a personal trainer with you as you go through the station. So again, we do want to make this kind of the largest impact we can, really connecting everyone to those opportunities. So great question, but absolutely a QR code.
So I have one question. So if it's on our school campus, who are we responsible for like scheduling this? Like, you know, obviously if it's a Saturday, like I don't want 6 instructors showing up to try to do Zumba at the same time. Like who's responsible for that, do you see?
So I can jump in, but Kyle, like I would think we would do it like if it was going to be a formal group, it would go through the facilities usage process. So, you know, an outside group would have to ask permission. We would have to get it approved. You know, if it was a non-for-profit, then they would fall under that category. If they were for-profit, you know, we have the different levels. But I mean, as far as people just using it like randomly, I think it would be similar to what our track is. Whereas if it's not being, it's kind of first come, first serve.
Just wouldn't want
Exactly. Yeah.
to break out, you know, I'm doing yoga. No, I'm doing Zumba.
Yeah, exactly. So
we
whatever
can post signage too, you know, to that effect. Like it's a first come, first use. If you were looking to schedule something, you're going to have to go through the process.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry. So are you guys a nonprofit organization or a for-profit organization?
Yeah, good question. So we are a registered LLC out of California. So we are not a 501(c)(3). We are not a nonprofit program. We are a mission-driven LLC, where our founder, Mitch, he does not take a profit, but we are a registered LLC, so we are not a nonprofit.
But you have worked with all of these healthcare companies to get grants going within different states and communities to subsidize this, correct?
Correct, exactly. So we partner with different healthcare organizations across the country. In New York, our state sponsor is MVP Healthcare. So they provide grant funding as well as the National Fitness Campaign. So that way it kind of goes back into the program. So that way we can keep continuing our mission to build these programs out, these fitness courts, to again drive impact, because we want to build this thing out really across the country with over 10,000 fitness courts. So for us, it's trying to figure out, how we can bring it all together with different partners. But the education campaign is a fairly new one. So we've been around about 4 or 5 years as far as the higher ed space. But as far as last year was our very first pilot program with Mohanison. So we're trying to really build this thing out across the state and the country, even on a larger scale.
And do you know, like, what did they end up getting in grant money and what was their payout? What did they end up having to pay out of pocket?
I don't know specifically. I didn't work on that project myself with Mohanison, so I'm not sure of the specifics of that partner,
Okay.
unfortunately.
And Jenna, do we use MVP for the insurance?
We do.
We do. Okay.
Yep,
Well,
it's one
that's
of our
good. Well, that's a good
always a plus.
partnership.
Very good.
And Michelle, that's a great follow-up that, I'm sure we could look into with them, with Mohanison.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can call the
Yeah,
business.
I'm just curious because, like, other board members are going to have questions for me about, like, well, how much is this going to cost us?
Right.
Yeah. So, okay.
And to that point, one of the things that I talked to Kyle about briefly was, do they ever partner with, whether it be a local municipality such as the town of Colonie, or, state assembly or county or things like that, because, once in a while, I feel like they're looking for worthy projects. So maybe this could be something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I would think
the
that
crossing, right?
right. I was thinking about the crossings too, Jenna, but if it was on our campus, but it was open to the community and we marketed it as such with the town, we might be able to get money from them as well. And they probably use MVP for their health insurance as well. So that would be something definitely we would want to tap into.
And to your point, Michelle, we've actually had a couple partners over in Massachusetts that partnered with the town. They placed the fitness court on school property. So number one, it got activated during the day with students and staff when they're available for academic programming, curriculum. We actually provide an 8-week and a 16-week curriculum as well to our partners. So it gets activated during the day by students, and then off hours, whether it be, the afternoon, weekends, it's open to the community. So the town was able to provide a significant amount of funding as kind of a partnership. So we do see that come together. Obviously now, when you think about multiple bureaucratic institutions being involved, it can get a little more complicated, but certainly an option worth exploring as well.
Cool. Great.
Cool. Well, appreciate you guys, your time this afternoon. If there's any additional questions, Dave has my contact, so happy to connect offline. But if not, I appreciate the time and look forward to continuing the conversation.
Excellent. Thanks, Kyle.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks for the,
Whoa.
getting involved. People jumping in was great. So, Erica, did you want to go next? And then Lisa, you can follow her.
So we're right in the middle of dismissal.
Oh, you want me to
which is
switch
super
then?
long. Is that okay?
Lisa,
I
would that
thought
be
we'd
okay with
able
you?
to-
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
No problem. So I just wanted to give kind of an update from the nutrition division here of the wellness policy or wellness committee, as well as the district itself. So the first thing, in January, we had our administrative review, which is it used to be every 3 years. Now it's going to be every 5 years, where SED comes. So we're obviously a federal program with oversight by the state. And they came in and did their administrative review at Loudonville, Bowd Hills, in All Saints Academy, and we're happy to report that we had no findings at any of the schools. So that's pretty good, since we really haven't had one since 2019, before COVID, and so many things have happened and changed. So we're pretty happy with that. Just want to report that out. The second thing is, so I just have some stats from North Colony becoming community eligible. We call it CEP, and which is free meals for all. Currently, all of my colleagues around the state are lobbying our state government and Governor Hochul to actually make it free for all over the state without community eligibility. There's 5 states, I think, 5 or 6 states in the country that are doing that. A couple of them are our neighbors, Maine, Vermont, and Massachusetts. So we're hoping that Kathy Hochul jumps on the bandwagon and does that as well. Although we're very grateful that she actually stepped up and put $134 million into the program, which is allowing us to be community eligibility at full reimbursement. Anyway, so what I just wanted to say is, since December, January, and February, our breakfast participation has increased by 126% district-wide, and it's climbing. Wow. I think originally after December, it was 114%. So that's climbing. As well as lunch participation has increased 27%. So there's kind of a big difference there, right? So, but it makes sense because lunch was already, lunch has a period to it, right? There's a lunch period, everybody goes. We had a customer base. We picked up 27% more customers throughout the district. Again, and that's climbing as well. The other thing that I think has helped the breakfast program, as I'm looking at all of this, is prior to COVID, there was never any eating in the classroom or even really thoughts of breakfast in some of our schools, right? There's no breakfast time. They come off the bus. If they need it, we're there, but you know, nobody really promoted it. But I think every single elementary school at this point, the CYC kids are eating early in the cafeterias, and it looks like any of the kids coming off the bus could come in and then take their breakfast back in their room, where I'm assuming teachers are, kind of giving them the plans for the day and getting them organized while they're eating their breakfast, and then they're good to go as far as learning goes. I'm trying to get some statistics, which is kind of hard with COVID and all that. So I'm not sure if we could do it, but I'm looking at trips to the nurse's office between the time they come off the bus and by time lunch starts at around 11 o'clock. And I was trying to see if there was any differential now that more kids were eating breakfast, where kids aren't going with headaches or belly aches or whatever to the nurses for some crackers or juice. I haven't given up on that, but I'm hoping that, aside being a support service for food and nourishment for the kids, that actually we could be contributing to some more learning minutes if the kids are in the classroom and not in the nurse's office drinking juice and having some saltines. So I don't know, I haven't given up on that, but I'm looking on that for some statistics. And the third thing I wanted to report out on is National School Breakfast Week, which we just finished kind of. It was March 4th through March 8th. For the second year in a row, we partnered with the American Dairy Association Northeast and held kind of their little press conference about the importance of school breakfast. And we had an awesome day. This year it was at Blue Creek. We had some special guests. We had Assemblyman Stack come to our event and speak. We had Commissioner Richard Ball, who is the New York State Commissioner of Ag and Markets, and also a carrot farmer in out west here a little bit. Of course, we had the National Dairy Council representatives. We had a representative, and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name offhand, but from the USDA out of the Boston office was here and spoke to us. And of course, our own Kathleen Skeels. And we had a ex-NFL player from the New York Jets. Well, I think he retired as a Jet, although I believe he was a Viking as well as a Kansas City Chief at one point, Tony Richardson, who was very, very well spoken. and had a good message for the kids as well. Oh, I should guest speakers. We had 2 of our Blue Creek students as well talk about the importance of school breakfast to them. So those are the things that have happened probably since we last met, and I will continue to report on how CEP is going. And again, we're hoping, so currently we have the district at CEP that became CEP in December, just FYI. And we have 3 of our private schools. We have St. Catherine and Niskayuna Schenectady border that became CEP actually in September. We have Blessed Sacrament down on Central Avenue again, who became CEP based on direct certification of free and reduced meals in September, and Achievements Academy, which is in our building down in Maplewood. They too are also community eligible. So we've got 8, 9, 10, and we got 11 schools that are currently, and we're hoping to get the other 5 as well. So that's what I have to report.
That's awesome,
Got a
Lisa.
nice little story on Channel 13 like a week or so ago, correct?
Yeah, they were here, as well as Spectrum News, and the whole idea is that they would have actually saw Richard Ball and kind of been more of a press conference at that point, but no one actually stayed for the event, but they ran it all day long, all over. Actually, Spectrum ran across the entire state. So they were watching it out in Buffalo and Rochester and
Lisa's famous.
I love it.
The voice from your shoulder there.
Yes, right.
So anyway, so that's what food service, nutrition, that's what we're reporting on. Oh, one other thing just to keep in mind, we're working with, again, our Finesse group as we finish up the year. We had a very good event with the fall family night. We're hoping to maybe do some kind of a spring thing, but with more of a wellness whatever theme to it, where we could kind of incorporate the wellness committee as well as, you know, the planting of the garden and all the good things that we're doing, and bringing again our school musicians and art classes and getting them involved as well. So we look forward to trying to get that up and running as well. And that's all I have.
More to come, right?
More to come.
To that Northeast farm to school.
Oh yeah. Also, we also got into a Northeast farm to school event as a group, which is highly competitive, and it is 2 nights and 3 days in Vermont.
But it's again a year long.
It's a year-long project to just boost up again our farm to school program. So we're looking forward to that, and we had a good team together, kind of the same team, but we'll be moving forward with that as well.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you. So we've had a few subcommittee meetings since last we met as a group, and we had a student wellness subcommittee and an employee wellness subcommittee. So Erica was hands-on with a group that actually met outside of the group, I guess. I don't know, there's like 6 degrees of separation there. But I've asked Erica if the noise level there isn't too bad, that kind of give a little summary or overview of some of the things that you guys discussed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we just finished dismissal, so that was perfect timing. So yes, we came together at the end of last month, a few of us, and we really just kind of started, kind of discussing reasons why, we felt it's so important to bring wellness to faculty and staff. And, the overriding kind of theme that we kept, coming back to was, student well-being is directly connected to faculty and staff well-being in schools. So we really started just kind of brain dumping, all experiences we've had, things that we felt would be great ideas and experiences for faculty and staff. And from there, I'm going to share just a few things that we kind of narrowed in on. So one of the big ones was providing a website for teachers to access, providing workshops, supporting and combining somehow, Jenna's Movementum that she's already started. So really thinking of ways to continue to support that, sending out district-wide messages from the wellness committee, That's, pretty distinguishable from other district messaging. So, finding a symbol like a lotus flower, something that just denotes that it's from us. Creating a dedicated wellness space in each building. It's a big one, but we thought that that would be a wonderful way to bring wellness to faculty and staff. And then just other ways to connect with colleagues. So, from there, Dave kept bringing a good, kind of a good point up, which is we really want to start, moving ahead and moving forward on some actionable items. So we then started right away thinking, okay, Renata already has this amazing wellness website that she started a few years ago. And rather than, reinventing the wheel, how can we take that wellness website? And Renata was one of the members that was with us at the time. So we really started to kind of dive into her website not reinventing the wheel. And so we wanted to work on her website right away and getting that up and running so that it's accessible by the beginning of next school year. And hoping that maybe the district can kind of give us a wellness button on the district internet site, which would be easily accessible for faculty and staff. The website, some of the things we really wanted to focus on were things like making, offering yoga through videos, breath work, meditation, other resources like virtual libraries and links to wellness books and other articles. So, that's, we actually started kind of playing around with that website, and we have more work to do for sure. We talked about how we're really going to have to do a lot of this work through the summer. It would be great if the district could give us some time to do that, but if not, we're going to plan on getting together. And then the other thing was something we can do right away, other than the website, is, a website is a great way for people to access information quickly, but we also know people like live and in-person experiences. So I'm hoping to offer workshops at the beginning of next year, pretty similar to some of the PD opportunities teachers have offered over the years in our district, where either before school or after school, you can sign up, and then, we can offer some workshops to faculty and staff as well. So those are the, two big things that we felt like we could really get started on right away and have ready by the beginning of next year.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? I know we're getting a little late, but.
I do.
Oh,
go ahead. No, you go, Tracy.
Okay. I've really been enjoying the art therapy on Monday nights with a continuing education. So I really, most of the people in my class, which there's probably at least 10, mostly all women, but yeah, they're older, and I don't see any employees, like North Colonie employees in my class. But I would highly suggest somehow advertising that more, because it's been really great for me and I've really loved it. So I guess just circling back to what Erica's saying, if there's this website that people can feel like, oh, I'm a employee, and this is also, because clearly, I don't know if employees are aware, you might know better, Jenna, and understanding that continuing education courses, if people are signing up or not. But yeah, just wanted to.
You're the only one.
Oh, I know.
So
okay, I kind of got that vibe.
Well, in the CSEA non-instructional contract, you guys get a free course every year. So Tracy took advantage of that. So that would be the only way that I would know, is because it has to go through my office to be approved. So
okay. Yeah.
We did talk a lot about that, actually. We were talking about how, those courses are being offered and how we could connect that to the website under a certain tab that, directs people to other wellness resources.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wanted to add is I was at a meeting today, and there was a representative from CDPHP there, and they were talking more about the add-on benefits that you get with CDPHP, which obviously we have the gym membership, which I think we knew about. But there's a bunch of other things that I didn't really know, like they have their Life Points, which is now called their Health Hub, where you can do online things and then get free gift cards. In the gym membership thing, it actually covers things for your kids if you have them on travel sports or they go to AFRMs, things like that. That's all covered. You can get reimbursed for that, which is, I thought, great. They have a whole weight loss section. So if you join Noom or Weight Watchers, you get reimbursed for that. And then the last piece was they have a dedicated wellness coordinator, and I have her contact information, who can come into the district and then either do classes, talk to us, access whatever resources they have. So it might be a really interesting partnership. So I'm thinking that maybe we can try to invite her into that subcommittee just to kind of see what she has to offer. And then the other piece is through Capital EAP. There's also some wellness stuff we can get for free. So starting to pull in from our carriers. I know we had talked about that briefly a long time ago, but today just sparked it because I was in that meeting and it's like, wow.
Yeah, no, that's great. And maybe even like, whether it's the subcommittee or if you felt it was appropriate to have one of those partners present at one of these meetings.
Sure. Yeah, so maybe you, Dave, you and I can kind of touch base and
Yeah.
see what that might look like.
Yeah, that is something we had mentioned at one point. Yeah, I like to follow up on it.
I'm all about like free stuff. So like,
I mean, we're
you
paying
get
for it,
it,
really,
right?
so we should take advantage of it. I did those points through CDPHP and it's legit. My nephew told me about it. I was like, really? And then I ended up with a pair of snowshoes, so worked
That's
out.
great.
Yeah,
Wait, we've gotten a ton of gift cards from using
Oh,
it.
good, good.
Uh-huh.
I forgot all about it. So I'm like, ooh. And then I just signed up for an online yoga thing today, this morning. And then I'm like, oh, I can get reimbursed for that. Yay. Very
perfect.
excited.
And I was also getting gym reimbursements, I gotta remember to do it. It was significant. I think it's like $200 every 6 months or something.
Yep. $400 each member and then $200 for the rest of the family.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you gotta follow through though,
Yes.
I was doing it and now it's been a good year and I haven't done it, so I missed out. I gotta go back.
I think you still have a window to recoup that. So
Yeah, I gotta go back and look at the dates of the last time I did it. I usually have to set a calendar reminder, but anyway. All right, well, thank you all so much. As always, whether you're here in the Zoom or out there in the virtual world, feel free to contact me or, Lisa, if you have any questions and, ideas. But I feel like we got some good momentum going here, with the subcommittee work and kind of bringing the ideas that get talked about in the general meeting and then running with them and trying to do a little bit of a deeper dive outside of the meeting to try to get some of those actionable items that Erica, mentioned. That was my catchphrase is I want to be about doing and not just talking. So, I think we're making some progress. So thank you all for your participation and time.
great. Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.